Hi, folks. One of the things that I talked about recently was vertical jigging. It's something that I never heard of before in my life until the last several years. And we talk about how people fish for lake trout by letting the jig that they're using go all the way to the bottom and then just reeling it straight up. And we're talking about letting it down to 100 feet of water and just reeling it up, and the fish will follow it up. You don't have to jig it or do anything else. Well, this vertical jigging is really caught on, and I talked to my buddy Dave Swanson, who really introduced me to a lot of this type of jig fishing. And he said that recently he and his friend went out fishing, and they decided to try to catch lake trout. And he hadn't been fishing for lake trout in some time. And so one of the things they discovered was that when they did this, they were bringing the jig up and they started catching rainbow trout. Now, this is a whole nother species with different habits. And the fact that this type of jigging was effective for the rainbow was really fascinating to me. And I asked Dave, I said, when you went out, were you intending to be able to catch rainbow trout doing this type of method? And he said, no. He said what it appeared to be is these rainbow trout were suspended much higher up in the water column. And when they saw this jig going straight up, they chased it, went over and hit it. And what really astounded me was these rainbow trout weren't near as long as the lake trout that were being caught doing this type of fishing. These fish were anywhere from 15 inches to, we'll say, 20 inches. And yet they were hitting lures that were even bigger than the lake trout jigs that we used earlier this year. And this fascinated me, how these rainbow trout were hitting such big lures. It's really amazing. It's another way to think of fishing. When you go out, this should be, we're discovering new things all the time. And this is something that I think is a real revelation, that by bringing a lure straight up, it can work just as well as if you're trolling or if you're casting or just fishing the bottom with something. Another part of this that I think is fascinating is that we can take a way of fishing that we discover and apply it to other species, and a lot of times it will work just as effectively. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meissner with the North Country Fishing Report.